The biggest stories of our lifetimes is the total collapse in testosterone levels in American men.
What?
Those levels are declining by roughly 10% per decade, completely changing the way people are at the most fundamental level. NIH does not seem interested in this at all. It's not a big deal. We think it is a huge deal. So we want to know what's causing it and what you can do about it. That's the topic of our upcoming documentary called The End of Men. Here's a look at the trailer.
Now this seems like an emergency that we need to get to the bottom of, okay? Man, are you kidding me? What's causing this, huh? Sounds like an emergency to me. Or is it an attack on manhood? That's what I want to know. Is it still safe in America to be a man? Well, we're about to find out. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. For years now, people have been setting up a little contest between crypto and gold. But that's like comparing a truck to an SUV. I mean, both carry stuff and travel from A to B, but they do different jobs. Now, gold's job is to keep the value of your money safe and preserve its value. And since Ukraine and the oil and inflation crisis, it's done a brilliant job compared to stocks and other investments. So if you're worried about what's going on right now, and who isn't, just talk to a professional at Noble Gold about precious metals and IRAs for your retirement. They'll put you straight on your options and hold your hand throughout the whole setup process. And this month, for any qualified IRA, you'll get an incredible 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin, completely free as a thank you. And all you got to do is call 877-646-5347 right now to find out more, or you can visit noblegoldinvestments.com. And that is noblegoldinvestments.com. Now, let's get back to this video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. Yeah, man. And back in the day, it used to be cool to be a man. That's right. Yeah. Whether you was black, white, Latin American, it didn't matter. Men were celebrated. In fact, that's back in the day when women used to like men. Now, all of a sudden, it appears that there's a full-out attack on men. Nowhere safe. I mean, I thought it was just on white, Anglo-Saxon, upper-class men. But as we explore, I think we might just find out that it is an attack on men across the board. Why is this? Why is it that this modern culture that we live in want to emasculate men? Every chance they get, they want to make men look weak, insufficient, not sure of themselves, not really able to take on some of the roles that traditionally were taken on by men. And I want to get to the bottom of this, because from Tucker, what he's saying is the testosterone levels are dropping. We need to get to the bottom of this, man. We need our testosterone. Only people who would be against testosterone would be men who hate being men or women who hate men. That's the only people I could think of. So let's explore and see if we can get to the bottom of where all of our testosterone has went.
I welcome this opportunity to speak to the people of America about a subject which I believe to be most important.
What?
And that is the subject of physical fitness.
Okay.
A country is as strong really as its citizens, and I think that mental and physical health go hand in hand. There is nothing, I think, more unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children. I hope that all of you will join, and everybody in the United States, to make sure that our children participate fully in a vigorous and adventurous life, which is possible for them in this very rich country of ours.
Weak men.
There's been a 50% decline in sperm counts in the last 40 years, along with a precipitous decline in testosterone production. We're headed for a calamity, and that's not hyperbole, it's not exaggeration, it's just a mathematical fact.
Would you recommend young men to tan their balls?
What?
To what?
Oh, man. Yeah. Make me feel like a man watching this right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, brother.
Once a society collapses, then you're in hard times. Well, hard iron sharpens iron, as they say.
Well, now you've seen it yourself. Tucker Carlson decided to do a documentary on manhood while of our testosterone might be dropping. I say we need that stuff, brother. That's why I gotta talk in my man voice right now. I almost want to go out back, start working on my truck in the middle of the night. Start doing some man stuff. Yeah, man, I watched that clip and I don't see what the problem is. In fact, it appears to me that the problem actually is that men are becoming softer. Men are losing their testosterone, and I don't understand. See, this is something that's put in us to automatically kick in to, one, distinguish the difference between men and women, which seems to be a problem nowadays. I mean, back in the day, it wasn't a problem. It used to work, but now it's a problem. But two, it's the mechanism that prepares men to be the protectors of the human race. It makes us feel that built-in instinct to protect women and children out of nowhere. I mean, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Something about that just kicks in when I see a woman being harmed, when I see a child in danger, and I feel like rushing to their rescue. Yeah, testosterone is what drives that. So what would happen to a society if all the testosterone levels started to drop? Because if you look at animals that are in captivity, oftentimes those males, once they realize that there's no more competition, they're not in the wild anymore. In fact, they're in captivity and they have no need to hunt. They have no need to protect all the females. You'll find that oftentimes the testosterone levels start to drop in those animals as well. I mean, some of the killer whales, their fin, their dorsal fin will bend over. Yeah, you'll see horns fall off of animals. You'll see them look like they're just castrated. You'll see them just sitting behind that fence or behind the glass, just looking defeated because their testosterone level has declined. There's no need to compete for the female. That's right. And so it's no different in mankind. See, if you really want to know the impact that women have on men in regards to testosterone, even in the gym, they believe that a man's strength will increase by 10% just by having a woman in the gym. Just by a woman walking in, all of a sudden, that testosterone kicks in and says, whoa, I can't look weak in front of her. Yeah. See, that's a benefit to the women because I don't know one woman who wants a soft-core dude. I don't know one woman that ain't trying to run over men, that ain't trying to be some woke feminist. I don't know one woman who laying in the middle of the night in the bed next to her husband, hears a noise downstairs, and be okay with him turning and looking at her and saying, hey, baby, go downstairs and see what's making that noise. I don't see one woman that would be cool with that. When a society starts to emasculate men, do everything they can to make men look weak, stupid, can't do anything right, what happens? Well, maybe a lot of men start feeling like, well, what's the need to have all this testosterone and it's unnecessary? It's being criticized. It's being downplayed. It's being attacked. So all of a sudden, your testosterone level just seems to start to decline or whatever, and society keeps pushing this. And I wonder what would happen to a society if all the men became soft-core. So let's see if we can get to the bottom of this, because see, my nemesis, Joy Reid, for whatever reason, got a problem with that trailer that we just saw of Tucker Carlson talking about the declining testosterone levels in men. And I don't understand.
Okay, this trip into Tuckham's dreamscape is absurd. I mean, testicle tanning, which supposedly raises testosterone levels in men, presumably not FDA approved,
Here we go.
was absolutely a popular search term today. And we can make jokes about Tuckham's because, I mean, come on, and laugh at him on Twitter. But the message here is far more nefarious. It's about the so-called decline in masculinity and the rise of the left.
Okay, see, here we go. Now she's going deep. Now she's about to find a problem that ain't a problem. She's about to look deeply into what this is about, even though there's some science behind it, there's some proven data and something. Just can't take it on the surface level. Whoever is pimping her out said, go out there and attack this this notion that the testosterone level in men declining is a bad thing. Attack that, because see, we want the men in our society to be more emasculated. We want to elevate softcore dudes. We want to downplay male masculinity. So Joy Reid, since you hate Tuckham's, as you call him, and you think that he's someone that you can make fun of, which is ironic because you're like the laughing stock of news. But nonetheless, her job is to come out and do a hit piece on this. Now, how in the world is she going to do a hit piece on something that seems to be pretty objective, seems to be pretty neutral, and we got science behind it and everything? Well, you already know how she's able to do it, by bringing in stuff that shouldn't even be mentioned. Racism!
And it's a message that resonates deeply with Tucker's Gen X to elderly white male evangelical audience.
See, that's Joy Reid for you right there. See, that's MSNBC. Well, Tucker's white, Anglo-Saxon, what else? Angelical audience. So I guess only white men want to feel like men. Last I checked, black men feel real proud. Black men feel real honored to be a man. You know, no black man that I know of want to just be emasculated, cast to the side, these things that maybe she's okay with. So now all of a sudden, instead of talking about men in general, what does she do? Isolates it and makes it appear it's only referring to white men. So what? All the other men are soft? All the other men are okay with looking weak and effeminate? Maybe for the Democrats, that's okay. Maybe for Joy Reid, that's okay. So let's see where she's going with this accusation of what? Racism.
The formerly bow-tied Dancing with the Stars contestant's hypermasculinity flex is some pretty blatant fascist posturing. The decline of real men is code for conservative white men who need laser beams to make white babies.
Oh my God. Here we go. Now all of a sudden, it's a dog whistle. Now all of a sudden, it's a code word. See, this is a perfect example of dogs only hearing the whistle. When you got an evil eye, you see evil in everything. Joy Reid right now, her job is the designated race baiter. Her job is to go out there and paint the Anglo-Saxon white heterosexual man as racist, and he doesn't have a motive to be viewed as a man just because he's a man. It's because he's a white man, see? So now she's bringing that in, but then guess what? Here it is. She's adding one more factor into it, y'all. Christian, see, evangelical. Now, why are they attacking white Christian men? Really what they're attacking is white conservative men. What they're attacking is white Republican voting men. That is a large voting base that messes up the left's agenda. So everything about the upper to middle class white Anglo-Saxon Christian man has to be attacked, even his very masculinity. Is that good for our society? We're about to find out in a second.
And if that all falls apart, that spooky old great replacement theory is bound to succeed.
What?
What's scarier is what the rhetoric translates into.
What does it translate?
From book banning to abortion bans and laws that regulate procreation in women's bodies. And what is now an obsession with the false notion that scary liberal saboteurs are going to turn your kids, meaning your sons, trans. Well, that fascist posturing has led to fascist tendencies on the American right that worship tough guy, fake tough guy, Trump, who even as a ghostly presence can still reign as a party boss as he recreates New York's Tammany Hall at Mar-a-Lago.
Now, you see how she's prostituting herself? Her job is to go out there and try to throw this dragnet out to catch as many of the characteristics of conservatives that she can. Not just conservatives, because see, they just assume that there's not a lot of black conservatives or other minorities. They're really trying to get that dragnet effect on white upper to middle class conservatives and then tie them to Trump. She's tying in every single talking point. She done brought Trump into this somehow. She's talking about, the Anglo-Saxon Christian men. She brought Christianity into this. Now it's deeper than just masculinity. It's fascism, all of these things. It's an attack on transgenders and all of that. Now, what I don't understand is that as this woman right here, and I don't know if she's married or not, I believe she got kids. I wonder if she's okay with a soft man. I wonder if she's okay with a very feminine man. I wonder if they're paying her enough to really put her money where her mouth is when she picked her mate, if she's married, and if she's not, when she picks a mate. I think this is the same person that was clowning about homosexuality back in the day on Twitter and then lied and said she was hacked. But for some reason now she's a champion for him. She's defending it, okay? Now, my question to her is, would she feel safe in trusting a whole bunch of transgender men to protecting the country? Would she be okay with that? I mean, if we had to send men off to war, would she be okay with sending all of our transgender men who are now believing that they're women off to war? Probably not. See, now because we're not living in war times, she feels real comfortable to get out there and throw all of this garbage out there. So yeah, I guess just because we support Trump, we're fascists, we're homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, and all the other folks. Here we go. Racism.
I mean, it's a level of white male fragility that I don't think that we get to see anywhere other than prominently on Fox News with Tucker Carlson. I mean, the fact is that we are in a political climate and a culture, frankly, when we are looking at the world through a lens that isn't just white, male, cis, and straight. And that is terrifying for those that have built their entire career and their lives at the top of the pyramid. And now we're at a place in our culture and our world, and we're asking questions like, why? Right? Why don't we talk about other people? Why don't we recognize and appreciate other experiences that make the American project work? Right? And so by virtue of us being able to want to expand that table that so many people have been denied an opportunity to sit at, that looks in complete contrast to Fox News, to Tucker Carlson, and what they would desire from America, which is a version of 1950, 1952.
There you have it. Words from that wise peanut right there, that lady. So now she's trying to make it appear that it has something to do with, not wanting to recognize other people with different beliefs. It has something to do with wanting to resurrect the old 1950 version of white men. Hey, it's Reid, how are you doing? I'm going off to war. No, Johnny, don't go, Johnny. I have to. It's my duty. I'll be back, honey. Yeah, that. I guess she believes that all of the conservative men who watch Fox News want that type of historical era to come back, right? But yet, at the same time, no one's out there hating against transgenders. No one's out there hating against gay men or any of that. What we are saying is we don't want y'all to shove that down our throats. Nobody's attacking these people. Nobody's discriminating against these people. These people are launching an attack on our very current culture by shoving it down our throat, by saying we should accept their lifestyle. We should embrace whatever view they have of themselves, regardless of what the science say and the biology say. Yeah, that's what they want. That's what's ruffling the feathers. But yet, that video that we saw had nothing to do with transgenders. It wasn't talking about gay. It wasn't talking about none of that. It wasn't talking about race. It was talking about men. And my question to these women who've been sent to come out and do a hit piece on Tucker, indirectly doing a hit piece on men, I'm included in that. See, it's not about black men, white, Chinese, or whatever. It's about men. What is happening to men? What are they doing to contribute to the emasculation of men? Well, they're being prostituted. They're coming out here not exalting the fact that testosterone is needed in our society. Would they be okay with destroying all the testosterone in society? Are they even thinking about their future offspring? Are they okay with their men growing up in a society where they're encouraged to be weak, unsure of themselves, effeminate? Would they be okay with that? They don't even realize the damage that they are doing for the future of men who they probably would be like, I support the black man and this and that. They're not even thinking about that. Because if you look at Hollywood, Hollywood constantly is trying to feminize black men. They're always trying to emasculate black men. If you don't believe me, take a look at this. Yeah, that guy right there used to be a basketball player. Those arms are tight. Oh, look at that. Look at that belly on that guy. They celebrate this stuff. This is the type of stuff that if our society in America continues to encourage the emasculation of men, degrading men, always making men feel like you shut your mouth and get in your place. These are the type of people that are going to be running our country. And what if something goes down? Do you think all of these women that's on here talking this mess is going to be looking for a guy like this? Yep. So I guess that's the kind of guys they want to date. Maybe that's the kind of guys they want to protect the country. I'm not sure. But me personally, I believe that men should be men. And I believe the average woman thinks that a man should be a man. I don't believe that the majority of women subscribe to this new progressive idea that men should not have certain roles in society. Because what they're trying to do is make it appear that by having a certain role in society, you're degrading the other sex. And you're not. Men and women are equal, but different. That's what makes harmony. Nobody wants to rub up against somebody with the same type of rough exterior that they have. The contrast is what makes women so wonderful. Yeah, that's right. It's not that we feel that women need protecting. We feel that women are worth protecting. But maybe not for those women. Those women, see, maybe if a fire breaks out and they're up in a window or something, I'll just run right past them. Keep going. Save my own life. Every man for himself. So maybe they need a lesson from this man right here. You talking about an inspiration in my life? This right here was my Uncle Ron, built for it tough. Look at that guy right there. Look kind of like me. Look at that. Marine. Yeah, man. That was a grown man right there. That's what he was. That man had hands that was rough enough to cut you just by touching you. That man worked probably about a good 18 hours a day. The man would get up like 4 in the morning, go out, do his farm. Then that guy would go and move. He had a moving company, would move all the way to 4:30 in the afternoon. 5 o'clock going to the steel mill, work till 1 o'clock in the morning, come home, get about 2.5, 3 hours of sleep, and run it right back. That was a man. Could hunt, fish, let somebody come up in his crib and see what happens. But no, that's not what they want. So we better explore this a little more and see what is the subliminal message that these liberals and progressives are trying to do, and maybe what their motive is. And there's no better way to do that than bringing in a movie. Kevin loves movies like the Terminator that we all used to love until it became woke.
Now, we all know that men can't be the heroes of anything anymore, so it's obvious that the future leader of the resistance is not a male child that Danny is going to have one day. But the first thing that bugs me is how cynical Sarah Connor is about this. Yeah. She suggests that Danny isn't a big deal. It's just her womb they want to protect.
Here we go.
A situation she found herself in Terminator 1. But no one suggested that Sarah wasn't a big deal because she was just carrying the future savior of mankind.
Right.
Sarah still had to be brave in that film. And more to the point, her womb, her child, was the thing that meant everything to her. Yeah. So much so that she would risk everything to protect teenage John Connor in Terminator 2. Terminator 1 was made at a time before feminist wokeness had infiltrated Hollywood. So motherhood and maternal instincts were still celebrated and respected. But it doesn't seem to be now. What? Mothers are just incubators. They have no real important function according to this film. Motherhood is denigrated as being nothing important, despite the fact that women literally choose who gets to pass their genes on to the next generation. The mating choices of women shape the entire future of mankind.
Right.
Every great man or woman who has ever existed, every great philosopher, world leader, entrepreneur, inventor, scientist, war hero, they all came from a woman and were likely raised by a woman with the values she imparted to them. Being a mother and a protective, loving, nurturing mother is the most important job anyone can do. True. You can't get heroic John Connors without heroic and loving Sarah Connors willing to give everything to help them survive.
Good point.
The idea that a woman is no big deal just because she's a mother of a future male leader is not only a truly despicable notion, but it completely contradicts Sarah's own story arc and personal journey. There's some historical revisionism going on here. It's the idea that Sarah now retroactively looks back at the events of Terminator 1 and doesn't really believe that she had all that much significance until such time as she became an ass-kicking warrior in the second film. Perhaps the writers have forgotten that Sarah's story arc was only made possible by the noble sacrifice of a human man, Kyle Reese.
Now, I like this dude. He's a movie critic, but he's on point, man, because you can see that woke Hollywood has a motive. They are trying to make it appear that for whatever reason in our society, men are walking around looking at women as just birthing people. They're looking at women as just something that they can throw away. Necessity. Well, you know what? You got to have them. We can't live with them, can't live without them. I'm saying they do have to produce our babies. They are belittling the importance of women. They are belittling the role of women in the children's lives. These women pick who will carry on their genes. These women are the first face that babies look at when they come out. These women are the people who impute all of the characteristics in that baby as it's growing. Yeah, for most women, the kid is a mother's boy or girl all the way up to a certain age. They stick with mama left and right all the time, all night. Sometime my mama used to have to be like, boy, go on now, leave me be. But that was my mom's. See, never once did I look at her as not having an important role in society. But according to this new progressive modern movement here, they're assuming that all men are walking around like, hey, toots, come here. These broads over here. I don't see that. But for them to counter it, they're trying to say that women need to become more masculine. In other words, start being like men. But the flip side is that the men need to become more feminine like women. So what I really detect is Satan at work. That's what I detect. Because if you're a Bible believer, the man should be the head of the family. If you go after the head and destroy it, then everybody in the family is left vulnerable. If I'm going in to launch an attack, you think I'm going into a country and say the first thing we got to do is kill all the women and children? They're not the ones that are the biggest threat. It is once you eliminate the men, that leaves the women and the children vulnerable in the spirit realm and in the natural. God set that order up. Okay, but yet for some reason, there is this push to go after men, to go after strong men who think independently, who don't mind fulfilling the role that God put in us as a man. See, how are you going to implement your global domination, your manipulation, your invasion of the family structure, all of that? How are you going to do that if there are strong men at the head of the family and in society? See, movies do teach us a lot. See, this was before Hollywood got woke and now they went broke. Thus, this is the worst Terminator episode of all times. Let's hear some more because this dude is breaking this down.
But motherhood is in fact an honourable responsibility.
Yeah.
John Peugeot has previously talked about how there is a current political agenda in Hollywood films to push more women into prominent action roles, effectively replacing male archetypes. But he also mentioned that feminine qualities are being denigrated. The feminine is no longer celebrated.
No.
Our media tells us that all of these strong female characters are great role models for women and girls.
Yeah.
But they're not, because they're just female actors playing very macho, masculine characters.
Good point.
There is no representation of femininity.
Now, I wonder why is that? That is a good point this man brings up because, see, as I look at these three women right here, nothing about them makes a man look at them and say, wow, I probably would go up to her immediately and ask her, hey, want to go out and have a drink? No. Those women look like they would be intimidating. Those women look like they're taking the role in the place of a man. That's what they're doing. That's what the subliminal message is, and that's the message that they're projecting. And I can't help but think if, for whatever reason, it appears Hollywood and society just, they don't like men, why is it that they try to make women look and act like men? It's like when you see a woman that's gay and she decides to go get a girl who looks and acts like a dude. And I'm thinking, you might as well have just went and got a dude. That girl acts and looks like a dude. So you just hate the fact that, well, deep down on the inside, I know he's a man, even though every characteristic of a man, this woman is imitating. And now you look at these Hollywood action heroes, it appears that Hollywood wants to exalt them and create this image that women don't need a man in their life. They're so tough. They don't need rescuing. They're not damsels. And all of these good traits and all of that make them look all hardcore. At the same time, these women, when they get off the set, most of them go and find a nice man. They don't get off the set looking and acting like that. That's their role. This is just nothing more than the image that they're trying to create. This is the influence that they're trying to, force into our society in regards to making men appear to be overbearing and chauvinistic, thus having us overcorrect and then become effeminate and soft, and also encourage young women to take on more masculine, independent roles and feel that man has no real place in their life. I don't need no man. Okay. Well, when the bear breaks in the house, all right, I want to see you wrestle it to the ground while I run out the window. But I don't think this guy's finished. He's making some good points, man.
The feminine, the beautiful, the compassionate, the loving, caring, and nurturing qualities of the feminine are not valued in these films. And so the female characters are stripped of their femininity. But you can't have humanity without both sides of the coin. The masculine is only one side of the human story. The feminine is the other side. And it's equally important. In Terminator Dark Fate, not only are the women given the overwhelming amount of screen time as action heroes, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is reduced to being a cameo in his own franchise.
See? Go woke, go broke. The man that all the women back in the day looked at and said, oh my God, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, he's so handsome and big and strong. The man that all young men looked at as their action hero. In this woke culture, Hollywood has chopped this man's knees out right from underneath him. They've projected him as being some old washed up fool that can't rescue anybody, has no real place in society, once viewed as the man's man, now viewed as just a throwaway character that once used to be viewed as an action hero, somebody who could rescue people from danger or whatever. And now all of a sudden it's like, nah, we don't need that type of man. That's the old version of men. Now, what we really need is a strong, tough, independent woman that's masculine as well. Now, what message are they trying to send? Do you think having a lot of women walk around and act like this would stir up and increase the testosterone levels in men? Or do you think that men might feel that they don't have a role in society? Therefore, they throw on their camel toe shoes and their buns in their head and dye pink and walk around talking out their nostrils and stuff like that, lowering their testosterone, not feeling assertive, not feeling confident, not sitting back and saying, well, actually, I got an opinion on that. You shut your mouth. You're mansplaining. You shut up. Nobody wants men like that, and nobody wants women walking around like this, except for maybe a small group of people that has an agenda. Let's continue hearing about this, because I'm learning stuff from Hollywood, y'all.
Let's break it down.
Break that.
The future savior of mankind is no longer a white male. It's now a young female Mexican illegal immigrant.
Oh my God.
Grace talks about how one day Danny will save her and will help her become the person she is today.
Do y'all see? I don't know if you've seen the movie or not. I don't want to hit a spoiler, but guys, they went all in on the identity politics. Young Mexican illegal immigrant as the savior now. Could it be more obvious that first things first, we're checking all the boxes? She can't be a white lady. We're going to pick an illegal immigrant because we're okay with, illegal immigration. And we're going to, make everybody have to confront this notion that all illegal immigrants are hated by the white man here in America. Mexicans are despised. Women are despised. So they just drag all of these characteristics and put it all into one unbelievable character. And I'm not talking about unbelievable in a good way, meaning unbelievable for anybody who watches this movie to say that, yep, she has all the characteristics I would think that might end up being somebody who saves humanity in the future. Trying to make us think that this is not a woke Hollywood agenda that they're trying to shove down our throats. It couldn't be more obvious. Let's go out and find a Eskimoan, Latino American / Muslim / Christian. No, we don't want Christianity. Let's find some other characteristics besides white. Unreal. And they wonder why they're going broke because they're woke. Let's finish some of this mess. Unbelievable.
Now, we witness a future scene where an older Danny shows up and beats up some guys who are like twice her size who are about to attack a young Grace.
Unrealistic.
It's completely ridiculous. The actress playing Danny is very small.
Yeah.
And she also convinces another guy to back down and join her side. And she leads humanity to rise up and fight against the machines of Legion. She becomes a kind of John Connor figure, but it's just not believable in any way. But this version of Danny is a very different person. She began the film as a beautiful, feminine, girly girl, but the future Danny is masculine, devoid of any real humanity. She's streetwise, tough, hard-boiled. She dresses like a man. She's in military clothing. Her hair is very short and in cornrows.
What?
She looks like a man. For all intents and purposes, it's as if she's transitioned. She's tough, very assertive, adversarial, domineering, aggressive. She's lost her innocence. Her female identity has tragically been erased, like a young woman who just did a year in a gender studies course.
I wonder what message they might be sending through just something so simple as a movie. Now, all of a sudden, she's transitioning. That's being supported. She's eliminated all of what society right now is trying to tell us are actual weaknesses of women, when in reality, these are the benefits of being a woman. This is what makes women our yin to our yang. We look at women and say, look at that beautiful flower. Look how feminine she is versus me with my rough man hands. Look how delicate and gentle she is when she handles the kid versus me who grabs the kid like a football. Look how patient and nurturing she is versus me who have impatience and want to whoop the kids because they can't get something right. That right there is something that men say, I dig you because you're not me. But right here in this clip, we see now the attack on men. That's right. Get rid of everything that they feel that men look at and view as a weakness in women, which that's not what we see. Society doesn't see a woman who is a nurturer or a mother or a good parent or feminine as weak. We don't see that as weak, but they're trying to put this image in the heads of their audience that this right here is the stereotypical view of women. And we're about to break that mold by making the woman look and act like a man. Only Satan would push an agenda like this. It's amazing to me how even the woke folks and the feminists don't even realize that they're still giving up their whole activism based on the fact that they're allowing men in society to just say they're women and then shoot right up to the top of the food chain and with women. That's right, beating them in their own sports, dominating them, erasing women's records. And I'm thinking for y'all to try to be saying that women need to be strong and assertive and they can do anything men can do. Well, you're doing a good job trying to turn women, one, into men, which ain't realistic, and then also allowing men to pretend that they're women and dominate women. It's crazy, man. Yeah, let's finish hearing this guy break this mess down.
The character is essentially vandalized. And of course, there will be those people who will defend this by saying, well, Dave, the future is a bleak dystopia. Of course, everybody is going to have to become a badass to survive. Yeah. But this simply isn't true and has never been the case throughout human history.
Do tell.
The strongest masculine men will simply rise to protect the children, elderly, and females. What? And the females will only mate with the strongest masculine men they can find anyway. If you're at war with a physically superior adversary, only the strongest men would be in your army to begin with.
True.
The women will be at home with the children because they'd be a weak link in your army otherwise. And it's not like there's going to be a lot of cushy air-conditioned offices left for them to work in when the cities have been reduced to rubble. Women won't stop being feminine in such a time. On the contrary, the distinctions between genders would actually become more pronounced as the men in society would, out of necessity, have to become more masculine as a result of the hostile and dangerous environment around them. Even today, in the safest period of human history, women still expect and rely upon male protection in emergencies. In such a dystopian future, they would require it even more.
Man, what this dude is saying is when the crap goes down, you better be ready when the crap goes down. So all of these feminists and all of these woke Hollywood figures who's pampered, who's gentle, who's very dainty, who's pushing this agenda, who's attacking masculinity, and they're talking about, toxic masculinity is dangerous and stuff. If something really happened, if we had to go back to the days of the frontier, if the grid goes down, you think they're going to be going out there looking for guys with open-toe sandals and man buns to protect them? Do you think they're going to want all of the softcore young millennials and Generation Z and X and Y and all those other ones protecting them? When that stuff happens, that is when they will realize the importance of real men. If this mess all happened, the grid goes down or we invade it, they will then realize we need more testosterone. The guy over there with the purple hair isn't getting it done. Yeah. All of these young dudes over here from Antifa who was running around dressed like ninjas and saying this is a fascist country, I never fight for them. All of those guys wouldn't get it done. All of these tough acting women, all of these feminists, all of the lesbians who want to dress and act like men wouldn't be getting it done. Then they would be looking for those old school dudes with the rough hands, with the testosterone, that's out there chopping trees, out there hunting, fishing, stuff like that. They wouldn't be talking about your toxic masculinity offends me. It would be your toxic masculinity is needed right now to protect me. So yeah, that right there would bring out the importance of real men in society. And it is like that even to this day. Folks don't expect women to be the first line of defense, They don't expect women to rush in and rescue people when you have available, strong, healthy men right there. In fact, I will question your manliness if you sat back and sent women in to fight the battle. I'm willing to take one for the team for the women. And most women are honored by that. They feel like, wow, I feel safe around this person. I feel like this person understands the importance of me and my role in society. They're not degrading me. They're not downplaying my femininity. They're not mocking me. They understand that you are my yin to his yang. That's all it is. But yet Hollywood goes after that. Now, where will we be if y'all go ahead and destroy masculinity in men? We're about to find out what society would look like. Because this current movement, along with the Democrats, are really working hard to do that. And that's scary. Let's finish this.
In addition, when was the last time you can remember 3 primary female protagonists in a film never mentioning any kind of romantic relationship with a male character?
Good point.
All of the previous Terminator films had some romantic relationships or references to them.
Yeah.
Terminator 1 obviously had Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese. Terminator 2 had a deleted scene, which was a dream sequence with Sarah and Kyle.
I remember that.
Terminator 3 had the romance between John Connor and Catherine Brewster. Terminator Salvation continued this romance.
Okay.
Genesis once again focused on the romance between Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
But in Dark Fate, none of the primary female leads even mentions any kind of romance with men. I mean, honestly, what exactly are they fighting for if not for the people they love?
Good point.
I recently read that by 2030, 45% of working women in the US between the ages of 25 to 44 will be single. That was a CNN article discussing research by Morgan Stanley. Perhaps films are now being produced to reflect this tragic reality, where female independence and this idea that everyone is an island on their own is considered something to aspire to. As a consequence of these women never discussing men and relationships, Dark Fate successfully passes the feminist Bechdel test.
There you go. They checked all the boxes for wokeness. They checked all the boxes for these strong, assertive, feminist women, for whatever reason, hate men. And you got to really be a self-loathing, softcore dude to watch this movie and say, now that was empowering. That's right. Yeah, I don't see how they're emasculating men at all in that movie. I'll go see it again. I wanted to throw this movie off the bridge. If you haven't seen it, don't worry about it. You ain't missing nothing except for them pushing an agenda down your throat. They don't want men being exalted at all in this movie, just like they're trying to cut out men's role in society. These women had no need for a man whatsoever. They didn't even have a romantic interest in men. They transitioned the only feminine lady in the movie into a hardcore woman. The other two had only become tough, hardcore, masculine acting women. Yeah, that's all they are. They feel like they don't need a man in their lives. There's no men heroes. In fact, the only villain in the movie was a man, Terminator. Yep. And then the other Terminator, who everybody used to look at as strong and tough, was reduced to just like a sidekick, somebody who's silly. He's a buffoon. He's a joke now. You see the messages they're sending, and you wonder why men don't feel like they're respected or even have a need in our society for the things that are built and put in us to protect the human race. Now we got a bunch of softcore dudes. And then we got the Democrats playing their role to make sure they keep those testosterone levels as low as possible. Y'all ready for this?
China has quickly developed the world's largest naval force. In 2015, China had 255 battle force ships. Now they have more than 360.
That's our enemy.
And many of those ships are more capable than anything in the American naval fleet.
Uh-oh.
So how are we responding to this?
Some of it's relatively straightforward work, where we're making good progress designing body armor that fits women properly, tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits, and updating requirements for their hairstyles.
So we've got new hairstyles and maternity flight suits. Pregnant women are going to fight our wars. It's a mockery of the U.S. military.
Absolutely. Wow. All of our enemies are looking at our raggedy softcore president who falls up the steps 3 times because the wind blew him down at 10 miles per hour. That guy whose head is down all the time. He's sleeping. He lets his wife lead him all around. Sit down. Do this. Put that there. That guy. That guy just came out and said that we're focused on things like maternity flight suits for women and helmets for all their hairdos. That guy. And you wonder why America is looked at as a joke right now. You wonder why wokeness is making us go broke. And I ain't talking about just financially. There are ramifications for these type of narratives and agendas. It's not just impacting the men in our culture. Other cultures see this. The cultures who don't believe in this wokeness. The cultures who still feel men have a role in society that is different from women. The ones that aren't okay with gender neutrality and mess like that these Western countries and leaders are trying to push. They're sitting over there saying, that's right, keep softening up all of your men. While Xi made an edict that said, nah, man, we're not going to be raising softcore Asian men over here. We're preparing our men to defend our country, not men that are going to be upset at the fact that, you know, you're doing things that men normally do. So let's go ahead and see what type of message this is sending to our enemies. This is what you get when you find a society that feels like men no longer have a role. Oh, that's China. Oh, that's their military. Listen to that. They got the deep voice. Look at those machines. Yeah, that probably increases the testosterone level when you watch this. Yeah, see, if I'm a Chinese kid watching this, I'm like, look at that marching. And women have a role. They have a role. But see, they're not trying to shove this down our throats. Look at that. Look at that. That right there looks like a prepared, well-equipped army that's ready for war. Yeah. Oh, look at that. They got missiles and rockets and stuff. Helicopters. Tanks. Yes. That makes a kid want to be all that you can be. People coming out of their water. Man stuff. They're doing man stuff. Yeah. If I lived in a country that had a commercial like this, I'd feel like our military was prepared to take on any role. Look at that helicopters. Their leader ain't up there talking about women with pregnant suits and stuff. Yeah, he's honoring his men. Wow. Equipment, and look at the technology. If I lived in China, I mean, I wouldn't mind joining that. Yeah. Notice the tone of the voice. That's a lot of testosterone. They didn't find a guy who's talking out of his nose. No. Yeah, that's a man voice. Uh-oh, what's this? Russian. That's testosterone. Мишка. Я близко. Минска рад. Look at those muscles. Where'd they come from? Testosterone. Tough guys. Push-ups. Look, they're doing man stuff. Wow, look at that. Jumping out of plane. Ooh, that's a great action shot. Testosterone all in this commercial. Look at, woo, wait. Mishka. Brazil? Okay, this is a man talking.
Participar de operações de garantia da lei e da ordem.
É o exército brasileiro de hoje.
Yeah, look at that.
Somos mais de 200 mil homens e mulheres trabalhando juntos, irmãos de fato.
Men and women working together.
Os poderes constitucionais,
not emasculating,
a soberania e a liberdade da nossa nação.
Helmets out in the hot.
Para isso,
marching.
Utilizam 8 comandos militares diários dentro deste imenso.
Notice the commercial, the guy who's doing the voice.
Respeitamos as diferenças culturais
He's
e
not talking
geográficas
to us
de cada
now.
região.
Uh-oh. All right, here we go. Raining. Good. Good. Look at that. Man stuff. You hear the music in the back. Man, I'm feeling like going out taking a lap after watching this commercial. Feeling like taking a run, getting out there in the rain. Turkey. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see what they got. Nobody talking to the nose? Wow. Yeah. Almost looks like a movie. That would inspire me to be a part of this. Look at all those men. Wait, where are the transgender women in there? There's all men in there? You mean to tell me they didn't have to rearrange the whole bunker and all of the barracks so that a woman who might think she's a man could feel safe and comfortable living amongst all those real men? You mean to tell me they're not focused on those things? No? Where are all of the maternity jumpsuits for those female pilots that would be flying at Mach 5 or 7 or something like that at 9 months? Where are all the diversity of helmets for all of those variety of hairdos for the women over there? That's what I want to know. Where is all of the criticism of these grown men running around in there with the bass in their voice with all that testosterone over there? Okay, look at it. Sense of purpose.
Evet arkadaşlar, az sonra çok önemli yerlerde üst düzey misafirlerimiz burada olacak. Sizden
inspiring.
Kuvvetlerini en iyi şekilde temsil.
My testosterone levels is rising right now. They're going up. Italy. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Italy. Love their country, got the flag there, marching, doing patrol, out in the dirt and the dust. Look at that. Yeah, heavy artillery. Oh, man. Yeah. All of them. Looking proud. Real people. Italy. Patriotism. Yeah. Service to their fellow man. Jets and stuff. Where are the female pilots with the helmets and stuff and the fighters' pregnant suits and stuff? No. Yeah, look at that grown man right there. Dogs. Very inspiring to me. Man, I'm starting to feel more masculine right now as we speak. Uh-oh, Germany. All of this man stuff I'm looking at making me feel real tough right now. Now look at that, out in the snow. Doing man stuff. That's right. All kinds of man stuff. Tanks and stuff. Working with the bare hand. Yeah, attack dogs. Real tough, man. My testosterone levels is about to pop my hat right off my head. So high, man. So high. Feeling real manly, man. Feeling real manly. What's this? What in the heck am I looking at? What in the world am I seeing right here? Why is my voice getting a lot? As I'm watching this commercial, I'm now starting to lose all of my testosterone. For some reason, my voice just...
This is the story of a soldier
seems to be getting a lot higher.
Patriot missile defense system.
Patriot missile? Where are the real people? These are commercials with cartoons. Why don't I feel like a man anymore?
California.
California, look, is that an amusement park?
Raised by 2 moms.
2 moms? I suddenly feel like Mickey Mouse, a little brain down turkey. This is ours? This is our commercial?
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality.
March for equality.
I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
What kind of freedom, huh? Are you talking about the kind of freedom that allows us to be a free nation that men died in Normandy for? You're talking about that type of freedom? Or you're talking about the freedom to walk around with vaginas on your head, talking about Black Lives Matter? That type of freedom, which none of you really are deprived of? All of your rights and your civil liberties and stuff are protected by what? Men? Not by a whole bunch of transgenders and a whole bunch of feminists. No. All of those women out there with those vagina hats were being protected by police officers. Most of them were men. And here she is talking about, I like to believe that, you know what, I fought for freedom. Not the kind of freedom that could cost you your life. See, because these modern day progressives that's trying to emasculate men, this isn't a threat. You out there marching with vagina hats and you out there feeling like you're a social justice warrior. That's not a threat. No dogs biting you. No bullets flying. None of that. Yeah, society kind of catering around you, encouraging you. Hollywood backing you up. The Democrat Party backing you up. Fake news backing you up. Academia backing you up. But yet you're a victim. Yet you're out there fighting for freedom. And yet all of these people who want to emasculate men, if you rounded them up and said, now we're sending y'all off to war, they would be upset. They would be saying, wait a minute, why y'all forcing women to go in there fight and be on the front line? You don't see an overwhelming amount of women wanting to take that role. They don't want all of these feminists. They don't want the coal mining jobs. No. They don't want those jobs where they're on that front line when bullets are flying. They don't want that. They don't want to be on that jackhammer working. They don't want to be doing those type of gigs. But yet, they want to emasculate men. And this is our advertisement. This right here is our message, not just to American men, but also to China, to North Korea, to all of our enemies. This is our message that we're sending to them to show them our priorities in regards to defending our country, to how we see men in our society. And you wonder why the testosterone level is decreasing. Well, right now, they're helping it to do that. Because I don't feel inspired to join this military right here.
When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed.
What this got to do with the military?
Doctor said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet. Eventually standing at the altar
I'm still waiting for the guns and the parachuting.
Role models, I finished high school at the top of my
We're the
class,
tanks.
and then attended UC Davis.
Just the narrator. Don't have any testosterone in their voice.
But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life. A sorority girl stereotype.
Oh, okay.
Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women.
Inspiring women, no man.
I really achieved on my own.
Yeah, no man.
One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest.
Climbing Mount Everest, having fun.
I needed my own adventures.
Oh, not love for your
challenge.
country, not duty, nothing.
And after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it.
Yeah, it's not that I love the country.
Inner strength, and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
Shatter some stereotypes.
I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
And this is what you get when you go woke. Look at these military leaders here. Yep, that's right. Yep, look like they're tough, ready for war. That's all. That's what we'll get right there. Yep, that's what we're working on as a country. Oh, what? I have no idea why Putin feels emboldened to invade Ukraine right about now. As we focus on unnecessary stuff, as we exalt things like my two moms and a little girl commercial with the cartoon and stuff talking about that she just wants something extra to do. She likes challenges. It's not about duty. It's not about feeling like you're making a difference in your country and you are protecting the people in the country that you love. If you start making people not feel like they love their country, if you start emasculating the men, do you think they're going to feel like they have a country worth putting their life on the line to protect? I mean, if you start making heroes feel like they have no damsel to rescue, after a while, when Lois Lane screams, Superman, where are you? He's going to be sitting on a toilet somewhere like, I beat her when I can. Because every time I show up to save you, you're telling me I'm not doing it right. Telling me, you know what, you're mansplaining, Superman, as I was falling off the Empire State Building when you grabbed me and said, Lois, I mean, sweetie, you might want to be careful when you're up there on top of the, Empire State Building. You shut up. You're telling me what to do. You're not my boss. You're mansplaining. See, that's enough to make Superman feel like, well, why am I even a hero? Why do y'all need me? Now you see how they are chopping the knees out from under men. They're attacking masculinity. They're emasculating men through all of these subliminal messages and, you know, stuff like this. But they're doing something else too. They're making our whole country vulnerable because other countries see the priorities of our woke culture and society. And it shows, and you best believe, it will also show up in the military where it really counts. God bless y'all. God bless America. But I don't know about you. I'm hanging on to my masculinity. Hanging on to my testosterone. I happen to come up in an era where men were men. That's right. Women were women. Little beautiful, lovely flower. That's right. Put my whole life on the line. Because I'm a man. And the only person that'll be mad about that is a man that hates being a man or a woman that hates me. Now God bless you. And God bless America. God bless all you men and women too. I'm not discriminating. See y'all next time. Kevin's Corner. God bless you. God bless America. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share my videos. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. And please check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, please click on the link below this video. Put Kevin in a promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. If you'd like to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. The links are below this video. If you want to be a part of my $2 a month club, also feel free to do that. All it entails is you simply dropping $2 a month into one of those links below the video. Or if you want, you can drop a nice big fat lump sum in there to offset the stuff that we know goes on with big tech. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Make sure that you are still subscribed. And finally, set your notification button to all because YouTube is playing games, y'all. Now, God bless you. God bless America. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.